Watch this great effort. He's hit right at the 2, then the 1. Line of scrimmage. Hampton is just about 50 pounds bigger than Lester Brown. And the 100-yard drive is capped off with a major score on this play. There's Hampton 62. Brown just keeps fighting.
Riders on that drive using up 6 minutes and 22 seconds. And Paul Watson to convert Lester Brown's 5th touchdown of the year. And the Riders lead it 8-0 with 2.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. And the big crowd at Taylor Field loved it.
Everybody talks about the Montreal Alouettes, explosive offense, great personnel. They're going to put it together and really clobber somebody. This is probably the toughest place in the world to try to do it. Look at that.
Tremendous support for the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Oh, do they love them or not?
They were telling us yesterday a few hundred came up from the United States, from the northern states, to take in this ball game.
We don't have it officially, but the top crowd in the history of Taylor Field was just last month against the BC Lions, 28,168, and we're sure that that record has been beaten today.
They were thinking it would be about 28,500. At least they were hoping that, and the way they have them jammed into that north end zone, they're going to be pretty close to it.
Can we count the folks that are sitting on garages and houses outside the stadium watching?
Paul Watson will kick it off once more. The Riders leading 8-0 over Montreal. The touchdown by Lester Brown. Al Dosant, number 12, takes the short kickoff. Still going. He gets out across the 20-yard line. Dosant at one time had a tryout with Saskatchewan. 59-yard kick and a return of 14. Go 1st and 10 from their own 21, and they've been in scoring position twice. They turned the ball over in downs at the Saskatchewan 1, and the next time they had the ball, Billy McBride intercepted in the end zone to kill that drive. James Scott splits off wide to the right side. Billy White shoes. Johnson goes to the left. 1st and 10, Montreal. David Overstreet. Hit by Frank Robinson. He spun off and fell forward for another 3 or 4 yards. And the gain is about 7. Overstreet out of Oklahoma. Coming into the ball game. They had 434 yards rushing, averaging 5.2 a carry.
Well, I think he's done everything that they can ask of a rookie except hold on to the football.
He's fumbled 11 times and lost 7 of them.
That's kind of one of the essential things, don't it?
Yeah, sure is. Second down, Montreal. Overstreet again, trying the middle of that Rider defense. This time he only gained about a yard or so before it was shut down in the middle by Mike Samples. And the Alouettes are 3rd down, about a yard and a half to go, and the punting unit comes on.
That was so very important from the Riders' point of view, trying to get them to kick against this breeze, because it certainly makes a difference in that kicking game.
Rough Rider defense has come up tough here in the first quarter. Now they force the Alouettes to kick. Wally Buono, number 39, who has only punted 8 times this year coming into the ball game. He has just under a 47-yard average. Good look at David Overstreet, the rookie out of Oklahoma. Buono punting into the breeze, which is blowing out of the northwest about 26 kilometers an hour. Stu Fraser takes it on one hop. Number 11, the ball popped loose. The Alouettes have it. Turnover time. The Alouettes have the ball. Center Glenn Keeble came up with the fumble recovery by Stu Fraser. With 1:04 remaining, the Alouettes 1st and 10 to Saskatchewan 49.
Pretty good hit on Fraser as he starts to go down. The ball is actually stripped from his hand from behind him. I couldn't tell whether it was Glenn Keeble that actually stripped the ball from him. It may well have been. No, I think that it was Bill Banks, number 50, that knocked that ball out of his hand. In any event, it's a good break for the Alouettes. 1st down inside Saskatchewan's 50. Just 56 seconds left now in the first quarter.
Turns into a 30-yard gain for the Alouettes. Here's to James Scott. Bobby Hosea read it well and moved up and stopped him for a loss. Number 35, Hosea. Stopping James Scott for a loss of almost 3 yards.
Well, that defense of the Saskatchewan Roughriders just doing an amazing job since that first series of plays by the Alouettes. We can recap this very briefly for you. The Saskatchewan Roughriders picked up their first point on the opening kickoff as Watson kicked it in the end zone, and then the Alouettes drove it all the way down to the 1-yard line, only to be thwarted on 3rd and 1. 8-0 Saskatchewan.
2nd and 12. Number 79, the big tight end at 6'6", has a first down for Montreal and a gain of 20 yards. And that'll do it. The first quarter comes to an end here in center field. We get a little bit of pushing and shoving going on. It's 8-0 Saskatchewan over Montreal. We'll return with second quarter action in a moment. That's on the field because Jerry DiTilio is the starting quarterback today for Montreal. Ferragamo has started the first 8 games of the season. They had a record of 1-7, so now it's DiTilio's turn. First down Montreal as we start the second quarter. They're at the Saskatchewan 32. Riders leading 8-0. Overstreet fumbled the football but then fell back on it for a loss of 4 yards. Misjudged that quick pitch from Jerry DiTilio and couldn't squeeze it.
Well, I'm sure the Alouettes feel some frustration over the fact that Overstreet has dropped the football so many times because he certainly looks extremely powerful and quick when he runs with that football, but that ball was thrown back there pretty well by Jerry DiTilio. I don't think you could fault the quarterback of the Alouettes. Overstreet just dropped it. It'll be 2nd and 13 now. We're just into the second quarter.
Big rush. Oh, and he gets away again. DiTilio just ducked underneath. Tom Schultz now finds Alvin Walker all alone at the 10. Walker going against McEachern, who finally stops him at the 4-yard line, but DiTilio did a super job of getting away from the rush. A 32-yard gain for Skip Walker.
Boy, what a job Jerry DiTilio has done on 2 separate occasions. Both times it's been Tommy Schultz, number 54, that left linebacker of the Saskatchewan Roughriders that he's gotten away from, and somebody obviously missed our defensive assignment. Skip Walker coming out of that backfield. He moves the ball all the way down to the 4-yard line, and the Alouettes threaten.
8-year veteran Ken McEachern making the stop, first and goal from the 4. Overstreet trying the right side. The Riders pull him down about the 2. Gain of a couple.
Boy, 2 straight big plays by Skip Walker. Skip Walker provided a great block for Overstreet on this play. Watch him. He comes out here and puts Schultz right down on the ground. Schultz, number 54, the linebacker who just missed DiTilio. Good block by Walker. Allows his offensive right guard, Mangold, number 58, to get around to the outside. 2-yard pickup for the Alouettes.
Overstreet has now rushed 7 times for 15 yards. The Alouettes, 2nd and goal just inside the 2. Riders leading 8-0. First quarter touchdown by Lester Brown, a single and a convert by Paul Watson. Little fake and a big, and DiTilio is hit. He almost got away again from Schultz, but then Smith got in there to help him out this time.
Well, he did get away from Schultz for the 3rd time in a football game. But you're absolutely right. By the time he looked up again, Vince Goldsmith gets his 12th sack of the year. Watch him get away from Schultz. Good job by Jerry. There's no way that he could avoid them both.
Schultz got to be wondering what he has to do to get that guy down.
I'll tell you, Jerry was very, very lucky to hold on to that football.
So again, the Rider defense comes up big. Don Sweet, playing his 2nd game back with the Montreal Alouettes, will attempt the field goal from 16 yards out with DiTilio doing the holding. In his first game back in Hamilton last week, he was good on 1 of 2 field goal attempts. Of course, Sweet holds the record, 21 consecutive field goals. And he puts this one through there, and the Alouettes are on the scoreboard 8-3 with the Saskatchewan Roughriders leading Montreal. And we'll return to Taylor Field in sunny Regina in just a moment. With Saskatchewan Saskatchewan leading Montreal 8-3. As you look at the statistics from the first quarter, interesting to note that the first down in Saskatchewan 7 of them, they all came in that 100-yard touchdown drive.
Net offense only 91 yards. Obviously, the Alouettes have done a good job with that exception.
Flag is down as Barnes just dumps it over the middle to Greg Feger, who's tackled immediately for a gain of about 1 on the play.
Got a holding call. Alouettes may well decline this one, as you see Captain Glenn Weir, the 10-year veteran, number 64 of the Alouettes, talking to Don Barker. I'm sure they will reject this penalty.
Holding, Saskatchewan number 44, declined.
Roger Aldag. See if we can pick it out there. Aldag, left offensive guard, as Brown is trying to swing out of that backfield. The gain, however, is only 1 yard. It'll be 2nd and 9.
Greg Feger, who did catch that last pass, comes out, and John McCorkindale goes in and lines up in front of Lester Brown in the eye. 2nd down and 9 yards to go. Another flag. 2 flags are down. Barnes has to run out of there. Coming back to the ball was Dwight Edwards, but Barnes zinged it over his head.
Dale, I think I could show the fans just exactly why Roger Aldag is holding on each one of these plays. Take a look at Glenn Weir. He's number 64. Aldag is 44. Weir makes such a good move right off the bat on Aldag. Aldag has no opportunity to really block him. He tries to hold him from the back.
Decline.
He's almost trying to tackle the veteran defensive tackle of the Alouettes. 2 straight calls now. As you look at that defensive line of the Alouettes, that's Junior IU who plays next to Weir on that right side, and there's Glenner. Held twice in a row now, and Doug Scott in there. He's had 5 sacks on the year, and Keith Gary, the rookie out of Oklahoma, who's done such a great job for them. The only non-veteran in that front 4.
Ken Clark punting. Kyle Brazeley takes it on the run from his own 41. And there's a flag down as Brazeley runs out of bounds at the Saskatchewan 43, and I believe there was a clip on the play, and they'll probably bring it back.
Charles Cornelius, no question about it, number 6, blocked right in front of the Montreal Alouette bench.
3-yard line. Penalty marker.
He hit him from the rear. See if you can pick him up just at the right of your screen. There he is. Not much question about that. Not a very smart play by the first-year Charles Cornelius. Plays very loose.
Montreal clipping on the run back, number 6.
Well, there's your call. That kind of penalty is absolutely unnecessary.
There's a lot of them on the kick returns in the CFL.
What a difference in field position for the Alouettes.
That moves the ball back to Montreal's 36 instead of being at the Saskatchewan 43. Just over 11 minutes to go in the second quarter. Saskatchewan out in front 8-3. Batilio has moved the Montreal Alouette offense in this first half. They just haven't been able to put any touchdowns up. Big defensive plays by the Riders. David Overstreet. He gains maybe 2 yards. Cut down by Andre Jones. Lyle Wozniacki got over there to pin him.
That was just excellent defense, Dale. Everybody on the left side of the Rider defense just kept stringing it out and stringing it out. He finally had to turn up, and there really was no hole at all.
Apropos for Labor Day weekend in Canada. Rider pride bubbling here at Taylor Field today. 2nd down, 8 yards to go for the Alouettes. The ball at their own 38. Batilio has all kinds of time and finds Skip Walker, who wasn't able to squeeze it. Ken McEachern picked it up on one hop after Walker had lost control of it. Long incompletion, 3rd down and 8.
Walker looked like he was wide open in the middle of that Saskatchewan defense. Ball just slightly underthrown.
Now the Alouettes will have to punt it back to Saskatchewan. 10 minutes to go in the second quarter. Guano, the Montreal punter. Gerald McGrath had been handling the Montreal kicking, place kicking and punting. And then they brought Don Sweet back, who just handles the place kicking, and Guano is back as the punter. Good punt. Driving Stu Fraser back to his own 10. Straight upfield, he goes with it to the 19-yard line. So Saskatchewan first and 10 following a 63-yard punt by Buono.
Bill, I don't know if Al McCann can hear us down at field level at the moment, but it would appear that the wind that was affecting this ball game so much in the first quarter has kind of abated a little bit. He looked like he just hit that football so well.
Well, Frank, it's still breezy, not quite as, I think you're right, it's not quite as windy as it was. I'm on the Montreal side, and they've been talking about it. It's coming in gusts more now.
Second 23.
8-3 is the score. Saskatchewan leading Montreal as the Riders go first and 10 from their own 19. Barnes in heavy traffic in the middle there is finally stopped in the pocket for a loss of about 5.
Here's the quarterback.
Heath Gary, the rookie out of Oklahoma, making the tackle. And he gets credit with his 4th sack of the year. Barnes couldn't find anybody open, and he just really couldn't find any place to run to.
It was pretty interesting looking at that front four of the Alouettes. They've spread their sacks out pretty well. IU and Weir have got, I should say IU and Scott have got 5 each, and Weir's got 4, and Keith Gary 3, so that pretty well evens it up. They put pretty good pressure on Barnes so far today.
Second down, 15. Flag down on the far side of the field, and Barnes in trouble. Gets away from Junior IU. Throws for Chris DeFrance. He makes the catch up near first down territory at about the 28. Hit immediately by Steve Jelly and Bill Banks. There was a flag down at the line of scrimmage. Procedure call against Saskatchewan.
Well, that procedure call also may not be accepted by the Alouettes as they come up short. Take a look at Junior IU, though. Extremely active. He went out there and tried to pick up the Saskatchewan back looking for a screen pass on the play. Junior, of course, in his 10th year from Arizona State originally. Well, maybe the Alouettes are going to accept it.
Saskatchewan, illegal procedure. No right in.
No right in. All right.
So that moves the ball back to just inside the Saskatchewan 10-yard line. Second down over again, and 20 yards to go.
Ball on the 9-yard line.
Right there is where somebody should have been, Dale.
That's right.
Of course, the reason for that call is the in-man on the line of scrimmage has to have a number 70 or up, or 30 or below. He did not. It was Brian Elderman, the right offensive tackle, number 61.
Draw play to Lester Brown. Bill Banks helped out by Willie Hampton, and they stop him out near the 15. It'll be third and punting for Saskatchewan. We have 8:14 remaining in the second quarter.
Well, that acceptance of that penalty gained 12 yards for Joe Scannella and his Montreal Alouettes. Trying to get some information to help Jerry DiTilio as the Alouettes should take over in really good field position. 8:14 remains now in this first half. It's an 8-3 ball game with the Riders leading at the moment.
Saskatchewan really has only had one drive, and that was a 100-yard effort that resulted in Lester Brown's 1-yard touchdown run. But outside of that, they haven't been able to move the ball too much. Alouettes, on the other hand, with DiTilio quarterback, is Ken Clark. Boots it high, but not too far. Moving up on the play is Graisley. He bobbled it and recovers it and goes down with it at the Saskatchewan 38. Flags on the play.
I think it's going to be no yards, and the Alouettes are going to scrimmage this football inside the Rider 30.
Well, they've had great field position in the entire first half pretty well. It was only a 25-yard punt.
Two featured plays for the Alouettes offensively wherein Jerry DiTilio have scrambled away from the on-rushing Riders. They have not yet been able to put it in the end zone.
Holding Montreal number 76 on the run back.
Well, there you go. We thought it was a no yards call. It appeared to when Braisley caught the football that the Riders was within 5 yards. Saskatchewan Roughriders lead the Montreal Alouettes 8-3. We'll be back with more second.
Event, the Lyle Woznessensky has some fans out here. They're expecting him to get to the Alouette quarterback.
I think they got the wrong number on the quarterback. Vince Ferragamo is not in this ball game, nor has he been.
First down Montreal from the Saskatchewan 48. There's James Scott. Ball tomahawk close was out of bounds, and Billy McBride hit Scott right at the sidelines. They'll mark that he stepped out at the Saskatchewan 39.
Scott coming in this ball game with 42 receptions for 694 yards. And Dale, I think you had a discussion with Ken McEachran and his opinion about James Scott.
Well, 8-year veteran McEachran figures that James Scott is the best receiver in the Canadian Football League. There's no doubt in his mind. Last week against Hamilton, Scott caught 6 for 117. Picked up 9 yards in that play. 2nd and 1 to go from the Saskatchewan 39. Walker has plenty for the first down. He's finally stopped by Andre Jones, number 28. And with 7 minutes to go in the first half, the Alouettes moved the yardsticks.
Well, I don't know if the Montreal Alouettes coaching staff made note of it, but there were 12 Saskatchewan Roughriders within a yard of the line of scrimmage on that 2nd 1 play. It might be good to burn one next time and see if they couldn't pick up 6 on a situation like that.
First and 10 from the Roughriders 33.
Alvin Walker starting the ball game with Demo's designated import. Achilleo going for James Scott. It's knocked away and flags all over the place. Billy McBride is incensed. He didn't think he interfered with Scott.
I didn't think he did either. Certainly not with the hand that knocked the football down, unless he hit him in the back with his right hand. Let's take a look at it.
Pass interference. Saskatchewan, number 10.
I don't know.
Pretty close.
I thought he knocked the football down. Did a good job. McBride a little bit upset with that call. First down at the 20-yard line now for the Alouettes. 6:25 remains in the second quarter.
Saskatchewan has dominated Montreal interlocking play since 1961. Again, he goes to Scott. A little flanker screen down the sidelines. He's bumped out of bounds heavily by Carl Cornell at about the 13-yard line.
Dale, they're throwing almost every play now, so let's take a look at that defensive backfield of the Riders. Bobby Hosea, 35, with Steve Dennis, the right corner you saw first. There's the veteran Kenny McEachran at safety. Andre Jones, number 28, and Billy McBride, number 10. They do a pretty good job. They've got a lot of help from the Saskatchewan Roughriders front 7, who came into this ball game with 29 sacks. The best in the country with the exception of the Edmonton Eskimos, and of course led by Vince Goldsmith, who has picked up his 12th here this afternoon.
It's 2nd down and 3, Montreal from the Saskatchewan 13. Overstreet. Down inside Schultz, but he does not get any further than the line. Right where he is now, it's a loss of 1. So again, the Rider defense comes up big.
Tommy Schultz has been in a position to make 4 or 5 of the biggest defensive plays of the year against the Alouettes, and every time he's missed a tackle. Watch this one. Schultz, of course, former BC Lion, number 54. He did, of course, delay Overstreet and allow them to throw him for a loss of 1.5 yards. So Schultz may well be a candidate for our defensive player of the game when we pick the Harding O'Keefe Sports offensive and defensive stars.
Don Sweet to try his second field goal of the ball game from 21 yards. It is good, and now the Saskatchewan Roughrider lead is cut to 8-6 with 5:23 remaining in the second quarter. Riders jumped in front 8-0 in the first. And now the Alouettes have cut into it with 2 field goals by Sweet. But really, they could have had a lot more, except for some big defensive plays by Saskatchewan. Right off the bat, they stopped Overstreet at the 1-yard line. The next series, they stopped the Alouettes with an interception in the end zone by McBride. And now, of course, 2 Sweet field goals. Overstreet came into the game averaging 5.2 yards a rush. So far today, he's averaging 1.6 per carry. Riders first and 10, 12:35. Far side for Emmanuel Colbert, and Barnes threw that one way over his head out of bounds. 2nd down and 10.
I immediately switched my view, Dale, when that ball went flying over the receiver's head to Coach Joe Ferragelli on the sideline, and he's into a long conversation with John Huffnagel. 1 or 2 more throws like that, we may see a quarterback change for the Riders.
Huffnagel, of course, Frank mentioned at the top of the show, came in and played super in Edmonton last weekend. Fumbled by Barnes, he picks it up, Going for Walters, knocked away. Two defensive backs there, Brazeley and Cornelius, knocking it down.
Looked like I hit Charles Cornelius, number 6, right in the chest with that one. There's some confusion on the snap count as you look at the leading receiver in the Canadian Football League has hurt his wrist. Joey Walters, number 7. Well, it looked like it hit Cornelius right in the chest. Maybe Walters got his hand in there. Maybe how he got hurt. As you see Barnes not getting a clean snap from Bob Foley, the offensive center. I think that is where Walters has hurt that left arm or hand of his. Well, that would be a tremendous blow in the Saskatchewan Roughrider offensive unit. They lost Walters for any period of time.
Joe's had a problem in his CFL career staying healthy until this year. He really hasn't been hurt enough to keep him out of any ball games, but right now he's in a lot of pain on the far side of the field. He got hurt in the pregame warm-up at Edmonton last weekend, Frank, and he ran into the back of Jerry Hornett while he was running a pattern, received a cut the inside of his mouth when the collision occurred, which didn't keep him out of the ball game, but shook him up a little bit. Now he's back on his feet. Look at that left arm.
Dale, I was Dale, I was very close to that, and it's certainly, as you say, his left arm. It might be an elbow. He instantly indicated that he had hurt his elbow or his forearm. I certainly hope it's not broken, but it might be. We'll check on it.
Well, that tells the story right there as you look at Joey Walters heading to the sideline. And hopefully the leading receiver in the CFL is not seriously injured.
Well, you see him stick that left arm out there, and Charles Cornelius, the first-year cornerback with the Alouettes, made contact with him.
3rd and 10 for the Riders, and they have to punt with 4.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. They lead 8-6. End-over-end kick by Clark into the wind, which holds it up a little bit. And it's taken by White Shoes Johnson at the 45, and he's smothered immediately by 3 Rough Riders, Bob Foley, Campbell Hackney, and Laurie Skullroot. Now back downstairs to Al.
I got a question. Guess what this man does for a living? You can't tell from maybe that angle, but
it's got to be Don Sweet.
It's unusual. Don Sweet has his right shoe is completely worn out. He needs a new one. The left one looks like it just came out of the box.
Ladies and gentlemen, congratulate yourselves. All-time record for Field, 28,526.
And they just announced the all-time record crowd at Taylor Field is 28,526. Second time this year. They set the tennis record. Alouettes on 1st and 10 from their own 46-yard line. Alvin Walker goes nowhere.
3:50 now remaining in this first half. And if you look at the Rider bench, somewhat concerned, obviously, over that left arm of Joey Walters. Well, I don't think it'd be broken, Dale. They wouldn't be handling it like that.
Dr. Jack Alexander examining Walters. 2nd down and 9 for Montreal. Great rush on DeTilio again, but he gets away from it. Now he throws. Oh, it is caught by Nicaraki when it looked like Andre Jones at least was going to knock it away or maybe come up with it himself. And a 1st down, Montreal. Gain of 31 yards for Nicaraki.
I'll tell you, the feature of the Alouette offense has been the scrambling ability of Jerry DeTilio. We keep saying it, but that's what they've been doing in this first half. Once again, is Tommy Schultz that he gets away from, kind of floats that football up there. And with the Saskatchewan Roughriders leading by 2, we're going to pause for this. We'll be right back.
To go in the first half as you look at Carl Brazeley at the Montreal bench. The Alouettes 1st and 10 at the Saskatchewan 33, thanks to a 31-yard gain from DeTilio to Nicaraki, and really DeTilio has been the story here in the first half. His scrambling ability has really kept the Alouettes drive going. The only problem is he hasn't been able to put any touchdowns up. They trail 8-6. White Shoes Johnson makes a great catch at the 10-yard line for another first down, working against Kenny McEachran, coming across the middle for a gain of 23.
Good catch by Johnson. He has to extend himself over the middle here to make this grab. Bit of a problem getting control, but he does so, and it's first down right at the 10-yard line. 2:36 now remains in this first half, and the Alouettes threaten to go ahead for the first time in this ball game.
Riders have got the big plays on defense in this area of the field. They need it again. Chile Alvin Walker. Rider defense reacts quickly, and he finally is forced out of bounds by Vince Goldsmith at about the 7-yard line. He did a good job of picking up 3 yards.
I'll tell you, that's a pretty good job by Overstreet on lead block on the play, though.
Out of bounds at the 7-yard line. 8 of 3. Second down and 7.
Down here on the Saskatchewan bench, of course, all Saskatchewan fans wondering about Joey Walters' condition. Joey, I was worried when I saw you go down with that bad arm. How bad is it?
Well, it's not too bad. We hope we're just icing it down. I got it sandwiched in between 2 plays.
You didn't break it, did you, Joe?
I don't think so. We're going to take another look at it and see what happens.
Well, I certainly hope that. Of course, you can't play again today, but I hope you're back next game.
Thank you.
Okay, Joe.
Cotilio's completed his last 4 in a row. Now he's throwing into the end zone, incomplete. Jerry Cotilio to Peter De La Riva, and the veteran tight end did not squeeze it. Andre Jones providing close defensive coverage. So again, we see Don Sweet.
Good play by Andre Jones as De La Riva looked like he was going to pick up the first major of this ball game for the Alouettes. Cotilio again throwing the football extremely well on the run. Ball was right there. 2:13 remains now, and barring a fake, the Alouettes can go ahead by 1 point in this ball game.
Don Sweet for his 3rd field goal try, this one from 14 yards out. And it is good, and the Alouettes go in front 9-8 with 2 minutes and 10 seconds left to go in the first half. Montreal 9. 3 field goals in this quarter by Don Sweet. It's given the Alouettes the lead after Saskatchewan got in front 8-0 on a touchdown by Lester Brown on the only drive they've been able to put together so far in this ball game.
Dale, I've just consulted with the Rough Rider medical staff, and although they had feared at first that Joey Walters had in fact broken his left arm, now they say it's a bad bruise to the left forearm. He got his arm sandwiched between 2 helmets. They think he'll be all right.
All right, Al, thank you very much. The Riders go 1st and 10. Quick toss into the middle. Greg Feger makes a nice catch and turns it into a big gain out the midfield for 20 yards. The Regina Ram grad, Greg Feger.
Just a quick look in pass. Feger makes a fine reception as he tries to turn around. The ball thrown behind him. Also makes a pretty good move. Moves it all the way up the midfield.
Joe Kuklo, number 32, finally put the stop on Feger, and he picks up the Riders' first down of this second quarter. Less than 2 minutes remaining now till the half.
Alouettes have done a super job defensively, except for 1 drive.
Walters is back in. The pass was for Walters. It's intercepted by Willie Hampton, number 62.
Pass intercepted by number 62.
And the Alouettes take over.
And an extremely bad throw by Joe Barnes. Right to Willie Hampton, number 62 of the Alouettes. Watch this. He's back on his back foot and does not get anything on the football. I'm sure we're going to see John Huffnagel in the second half of this ball game. Barnes has had a tough time throwing the football.
That's only the 3rd interception of the year given up by Barnes. The Alouettes in the minute 49 now have a chance to increase their lead. Cotilio still scrambling. McIver after him, and he still gets away from McIver and Waz. Desensky throws complete to Alvin Walker. The story of this game is Jerry Cotilio. There's no doubt about that.
It's just been amazing back there. Cotilio doesn't even look concerned with those defensive linemen bearing down on him. Watch Doug McIver come from your right side, number 64. Cotilio just kind of waits and sees him coming, and at the last minute, just a quick little dodge. Then comes Waz Desensky, avoids him like he wasn't even a threat at all, and then delivers the football.
And And Walker makes the reception for a gain of 26 yards. First down Montreal at the Saskatchewan 41. Throws complete. Oh, they rule it an incomplete pass to James Scott. James Scott says he caught it. One referee said incomplete, the other one said it's complete. They are going to mark it as a complete pass to James Scott.
Well, that's not going to go over very well here at center field, but I thought he did catch the football. Let's look. Well, I think he caught it.
I think he got his hands underneath it and held on to it.
Not conclusive from that picture, but it certainly appeared that he made the reception, and that's what it's been ruled.
I had a perfect angle, guys. He caught the football.
Okay, second down and 2 for the Alouettes. Walker. Picked up maybe a yard on the play. That's about all.
Well, I'll tell you what. That Rider defense has really come up big on second down. Watch the number of Riders that get a shot here. 1, 2,
Third down and
3, 4, 5, 6. That's pursuit.
They rule no gain on the play by Walker. And so it's third down and 2. And once more, Don Sweet is into the ball game. And he'll try this one from 40 yards out, his longest attempt of the ball game. And there's a little bit of trivia for today.
I might have an edge on you there, Dale.
I think you do. Less than a minute to go in the first half. Don Sweet with a 40-yard field goal attempt, and he is now good on 4 of 4 for a 12-8 Montreal lead.
Sweet looks like he's on his way to a record, Dale. His 4th field goal in this first half. We're not going to tell you who that quarterback was from that game, but let me say this, and I hope he's listening. He's not one of the great physical specimens that's ever played this football game.
Big sign south of the border says, "Welcome to Roughrider country."
You may hear about that next weekend.
Williston, North Dakota is here. Yahoo!
So the Riders take over first and 10 at their own 35.
20 of them.
47 seconds left. A quick pass from Barnes to Feger is incomplete. Second down and 10. 45 seconds remaining.
We may see that pass a lot more in this ball game as Feger's splitting out a little bit from the formation, and they're trying to cover it with Bill Banks, the middle linebacker, number 50. Just that quick look-in pass. Of course, it was completed for 20 yards to Feger just a moment ago. 45 seconds now remaining in the first half, and Saskatchewan has not done much since that one long 100-yard drive of theirs where they scored their only major.
Second and 10 from the 35. Riders haven't been across their own 35 to start a drive yet this quarter. This time the pass for Lester Brown is incomplete. It'll be third down. And Joe Farragelli, I'm sure, is thinking about getting John Hupnagel to start that third quarter. Joe Barnes, as Frank mentioned, outside of the one drive, has been unable to get anything going. He's 9 of 18 for 110 yards. Alouettes leading 12-8. There's Hupnagel, who really ranks right up there with Barnes as far as stats go this year, with 74 completions in 134 attempts. As Ken Clark punts it away. Carl Brazeley from his own 38. And he is smothered right at that point by Laurie Skullroot, who's downfield first. Number 68, a 37-yard punt, no return, and 31 seconds to go.
Boy, excellent coverage all afternoon so far by the Riders, particularly on these punts. Very much of a defensive football game, although it's been a scrambling Jerry DiTilio offensively for the Alouettes. It's provided almost all the excitement for them.
Walker takes the pass from DiTilio this time, and he is drilled down first by Andre Jones and then Carl Cornell at about the 41. It's a gain of 3 yards. Second down and 7. 25 seconds to go in the first half.
Second down.
I thought Cornell might get called for spearing there. Ladies West coming in on that hit.
Second and 7 as DeTilio drops straight back. Gallarriva makes the catch, steps out of bounds with it at the Saskatchewan 53. First down, Montreal. 18 seconds to go.
Well, they've certainly got a time for at least one more play before Sweet could come in and try his 5th field goal of this first half. Sweet does not have the range that Watson does. Doubtful if he could hit it from here. It would be about a 62-yarder, but they have time, 18 seconds.
Last play, 15-yard gain by Gallarriva. Big rush again on DeTilio. This time they get to him, but it took 4 of them to surround him, so he couldn't get away.
That's right. They had to build a fence around him. It's the only way you can get him down.
Loss of 10 yards. Second time today they've got to DeTilio, but boy, he's been hard to track down. 13 seconds to go. Timeout has been called. The CFL on CTV will continue right after this. First half, second down, 16 for Montreal. The ball at their own 46. DeTilio going for Scott. Knocked Jones, number 28. Fourth third down for Montreal with 7 seconds remaining.
Look at that pattern, just a quick bend out to the outside for Scott.
3rd and 16.
He thought the ball was going to be delivered. Good play defensively by Jones. Went high to knock it down. 7 seconds now remain. It appears that the Alouettes are going to have a 4-point halftime advantage as you look at the injured Joey Walters on the Rider bench.
36594.
Still has some ice wrapped on that left forearm. He did come back into the ballgame after being injured. We'll have to take another look at it at the half. And this goes off the side of Buono's foot. Doesn't go too deep at all. They're going to let it bounce back towards the Alouette line of scrimmage. Buono hustling downfield, and he gets to the ball first. But the ball pops loose, and Campbell Hackney has it for Saskatchewan as time runs out on the clock. The flag thrown on the play. After a 29-yard punt, first indication would be no yards, but that was Buono, number 39, coming through there, the kicker, and of course he has as much right to the ball as anybody.
First touch by the punter.
Negated by the kicker, number 39, touching the ball.
Well, that's it. The first half ends with the Montreal Alouettes leading the Saskatchewan Roughriders 12-8 on 4 field goals by Don Sweet.
Well, as you say, Dale, the highlight of that first half, Don Sweet's 4 field goals. And if you're wondering at home who holds the Canadian Football League record in that department, it's a former Saskatchewan Roughrider, Bob McAreedy, in 1978. He had 7 field goals in a single game, so that record is in jeopardy today right here in Regina. I thought that the scrambling work of Jerry DeTilio was one of the outstanding parts of that first half. And the Montreal Alouettes, leading 12-8 at halftime, are probably wondering, can they go along and follow up on what happened to the BC Lions when they lost to the Ottawa Roughriders on Friday, a win for the East in interlocking play. Hey, we want you to stay around at halftime. We'll have that very popular yesterday's feature with Johnny Esau and one of the great quarterbacks of CFL history. We'll also have some highlights from that game in Ottawa the other night, and Frank Rigney will be around with highlights of the first half. Stay with us.
From a school principal to a university coach to a company president, from an all-Canadian all-star to the most outstanding player to a 3-time scoring champion, Carling O'Keefe Sports presents a look into yesterday in the Canadian Football League.
CFL history to have played in both the Rose Bowl and the Grey Cup in the same year. In 11 seasons, he led Winnipeg to the Grey Cup final 6 times, winning 4. Who is he? Kenny Plain, yesterday in the CFL. You can be sure that when a great football team arrives, it has a great quarterback as its foundation. And so it was with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, who had almost permanent reservations at the Grey Cup during the late 1950s and the 1960s. Yes, they had a great quarterback in Kenny Plain. A man with so many talents that he looked almost unspectacular. He made it look easy. He never really reaped the rewards he so richly deserved until near the end of an 11-year career. All he did was win. His career with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, Kenny Plain threw for over 16,000 yards, 119 touchdowns, and a 56% completion average. In 1962, he was intercepted on only 4 occasions, an all-time record. Kenny was selected All-Western quarterback 3 times, All-Canadian in 1965. Game in and game out, Kenny Plain was the complete quarterback. He was selected to the Hall of Fame in 1975. Now an executive with CJOB Radio, Kenny and I reminisced at his home in Winnipeg. Kenny Plain started a dynasty in Winnipeg. He and Bud Grant started together in 1957. Neither one said very much, both very quiet, methodical, and yet they were both winners. How did you actually communicate, Ken?
Well, actually, John, you know, I think it's a misconception. Bud was really quite an easy guy to communicate with, particularly, I guess, if you were talking to him about hunting or fishing or football. I never had any problems with him. We got along very good together and were able to talk things over, game plans and different things with no problem at all.
Were you then actually the boss once you got on the field?
Yeah, Bud's philosophy was to let the quarterback run the club when he was on the field, and we'd have spotters. Joe Zaleski was up in the press box in those days, and he'd send down plays and different things. Bud's philosophy was, listen, we're going to send you in some help. If you want to use it, go right ahead. If you don't, it's your decision.
You had 6 Grey Cup trips. You won 4 of them, and yet national stardom always seemed to evade you. That must have gnawed at you internally.
Well, I think, John, you know, it probably, you think back about it, maybe concerns me maybe more today that it's over than it did at the time, because things were good. We had some good times, good teams here in Winnipeg. Was on a few all-star teams. We won a lot of championships, and you really didn't think about those things at that time. So I think maybe this is something that has come up after I've retired more so than when I was playing.
In those 6 Grey Cup trips, 1961 and 62 must rank very high, because in 1961 you scored the first overtime touchdown in Grey Cup history. Was it a design play? Do you recall it clearly?
Well, it wasn't designed per se. It was actually a pass play, I think, that we had originally called to Farrell Funston over the middle, and he had been bumped. In fact, as I recall, he was knocked off his feet, and as a result, he started looking around, and I had a great tendency in those days to get nervous. And I started moving to my right, and as I recall, I picked up some great blocks from George Drucksmann, our center, Ed Kotowich, one of the guards, and was able to move out around the right side of the line, and got around the corner and headed up the field, and the next thing I knew, I was in the end zone and had scored a touchdown. It's one of those things that just happens.
Did football give you more or less than you had expected?
As I think back over the years, I wasn't really planning on playing professional football to begin with. I was drafted rather high in the National Football League as a defensive back, and the advice out of my coach back at Iowa, Forrest Evershesky, was not to go into professional football. When I got approached to come to Canada, he had a little change of heart. He thought maybe it was a little more style, my game or whatever. And he had a good relationship with Bud Grant and Wayne Robinson, who were the coaches in those days, and his recommendation was to come up here and give it a shot. And one thing led to another. I was fortunate enough to play on some great teams, met some great guys, and some great memories from it. And there's no question in my mind, I got nothing but good out of it.
Yesterday in the CFL.
Got going in the rain in Ottawa, and it was a story of dropped passes and bad weather, I guess, but it turned out to be a good one, of course, for the homestanding Ottawa Roughriders. They won the football game, some key plays. Larry Crawford, of course, got a key play early. 90 yards, he ran it back only to have the play called back. This, of course, was a critical play at that particular moment in the game. But with the score tied 7-7 in the third quarter, we had what proved to be the big play when Joe Pau was hit by Marshall, fumbled the football. Seymour recovered, and that set up the field goal, of course. That actually was the difference in the game. Ben Watts ran in for a touchdown in the late going for the insurance points as Ottawa beat British Columbia 17-7. Looking at the Eastern Division standings as we have it right now, and you can see the Hamilton Tiger Cats pretty much having the run of things, but the way things are going, the East are starting to interlocks, and anything can happen. As far as the West is concerned, it is truly a great race. Just look how tight that race is. Edmonton and BC tied. Winnipeg, Calgary, and Saskatchewan all very, very close. And, of course, we've got some tremendous games coming up. Tomorrow we have the Toronto Argonauts playing in Calgary, while the Eskimos are in Hamilton, and you'll see that one on the full facilities of the CTV network. And don't forget, next weekend, lots of action for CTV. Hamilton plays in Montreal on Saturday the 12th. That will be televised on CTV East. Saskatchewan's in Winnipeg. We'll have that one for you, CTV West. And on Sunday the 13th, Ottawa's at Toronto, and BC plays in Edmonton. That, too, will be on the CTV network. This is the CFL on CTV. We'll continue.
What's are concerned, their defense played absolutely super, holding the Saskatchewan Roughriders to 23 yards in the second quarter. We've talked so much about Jerry DiTilio, but he did such an amazing job in this football game. He was actually sacked twice by the Saskatchewan Roughriders, but had it been anybody else, it would have been 7 or 8 times. This was early in the football game. You saw how he avoided that rush, completed this pass to Billy White Shoes Johnson for 49 yards. Moved the Alouettes right into scoring position. As a matter of fact, they had a third down and 1 at the 1-yard line. Here's what happened. Watch Carl Cornell, number 52. He's your middle linebacker. And he makes first contact on David Overstreet. They do not get it in the end zone. A big turnover for the Riders. And then a 100-yard drive after an interception is capped off by Lester Brown taking his quick-looking pass to the 1-yard line. That interception, by the way, was made by Billy McBride in the end zone. And that touchdown scored by Lester Brown as he goes around the left side and third effort. Jerry DiTilio, by the way, in the first half of this football game, is 13 of 17 for 241 yards. A lot of it on plays exactly like that. That one was to Skip Walker. He moved it all the way down to the 4-yard line. But once again, Saskatchewan came up big defensively, and one of the 2 sacks occurred right here. That's Tommy Schultz missing, but Vince Goldsmith did not. We may well see John Huffnagel at quarterback for the Saskatchewan Roughriders in the second half. We'll wait and see. The score, 12-8. Saskatchewan Roughriders trail at halftime. We'll have second half action in just a moment.
Back at Taylor Field in Regina as Paul Watson gets set to kick off the second half. Montreal leading Saskatchewan 12-8. Alvin Walker now Dosan got mixed up there and both went for the ball. It popped loose. Dosan picks it up, managed to get it back out to about the 17-yard line where he's stopped by Frank Robinson. We look at the stats in the first half. Total offense favoring Montreal. The skydiver you're looking at there, too, is Phil Greenwood out of Saskatoon. Saskatoon putting on the halftime show here at Taylor Field in Regina. And what an effort he made. Landed right at the 55-yard line.
I knew these Alouettes were bringing ball players from all over, Dale. This is getting ridiculous. Look at how much they dominated the first half of play. 252 yards, led by that man, Jerry DiTilio, to 114 for the Riders.
First down, Alouettes from their own 17. Overstreet has the ball. He's out. Samples in on the tackle for Saskatchewan. Gain of 3, close to 4 yards at the 21.
He's certainly been held into check. 16 yards in the first half, Dale. Looks like he's limping a little bit after that one.
Jerry DiTilio started the game at quarterback. Is still in there. He's done a good job for him, especially his scrambling ability. Vince Ferragamo, the designated import, has not seen any action. Skip Walker started in the backfield alongside David Overstreet. Second down, 6 yards to go, Montreal. Far side for White Shoes Johnson, makes the catch. It's pushed out of bounds by Bobby Hosea at the 31. And the Alouettes pick up a 10-yard gain. We're just underway in the second half. Alouettes leading 12-8. They're now first and 10 at their 21.
Well, Overstreet looks like he's really limping badly in that huddle, Dale. I mentioned that after that first down play, but the Alouettes have left him in there.
takes that quick flanker screen pass from DeTilio and gains a couple of yards. Steve Dennis making the stop. DeTilio's tried that play to both sides of the field now. A couple of times to James Scott in the first half. This time he tries it with White Shoes Johnson.
It used to be a big deal, you know.
Yeah, it was.
Billy Johnson was in the NFL years and years ago, but everybody's wearing white shoes now.
This doesn't sound right to call him Billy Johnson, though.
That's right. Nick Orange Shoes Hebler of the BC Lions, and that's unique.
Second down and 9 for the Alouettes. They're going to change footballs. They want a clean football.
Just exchanging the ball. It's
Just underway here in the second half at center field. It's a big game for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Winnipeg Bombers are idle this weekend. The Riders go to Winnipeg next Saturday. A win for Saskatchewan today would move them into a tie in points with Winnipeg. DeTilio going deep for Scott. Oh, he is open. Oh, look at this. James Scott will score easily. Whoa, big play DeTilio to James Scott for 78 yards.
Boy, he just eats up Billy McBride with a great move to the inside. And DeTilio has time to pull the football, puts it right on the money. Has he got some speed? Kenny McEachran does the best receiver in the Canadian Football League. He's number 89 with the Montreal Alouettes. He may be right.
He showed it on that
Come up
play,
with more of those. Just beats Billy McBride, number 10, the left corner of the Riders, cleanly.
James Scott, former Chicago Bear, comes up with a big touchdown for Montreal. Don Sweet to convert it now. And for Scott, that's his 5th touchdown of the season. Don Sweet gives the Montreal Alouettes a 19-8 lead here early in the third quarter. Let's go downstairs to Al.
Okay, Dale, I got James Scott. James, can you just turn around to our camera here? This is going back into your land, to your Washington plot. A great catch. I thought maybe it's a tough one to handle because the wind's gusting and the ball will sail a little.
Well, it was a great throw, and I just took off and made the catch.
I'll tell you, you guys are going to be good. It looks like you're starting to put things together with this football team.
Well, it's just a matter of time.
James, congratulations. Fine touchdown.
Okay, thank you.
Scott closing in on 800 receiving yardage for the year.
I like what he said there, Frank. It's just a matter of time. This club has too much talent not to start beating some people in this league.
Well, certainly a lot of people have thought that for some weeks. As a matter of fact, I talked to Glenn Weir before the ball game, and I said, gee, Glenn, I guess you guys are heck out of somebody at some point. He says, yeah, we've been thinking that for the last month.
Scott has got 4 this afternoon for 102 yards, and of course that touchdown right there. First major of the afternoon for Montreal. That fellow you're looking at provided all the other points with 4 field goals and now 1 convert.
We definitely are going to see John Hufnagel start the second half. Riders.
Tolbert, a yard deep in the end zone, takes the kickoff from Sweet. Flag is down and falls Tolbert out at the 20-yard line. 68-yard kickoff and a 23-yard return.
Another penalty, however, I believe, against the Riders.
Lou Clare made the tackle, a former Saskatchewan Roughrider and former Hamilton Tiger Cat, now with the Alouettes.
Saskatchewan, number 11 on the run back.
Stu Fraser, number 11, caught for clipping, and that moves the ball back to the Saskatchewan. Was in at quarterback. Joe Barnes had 1 drive in the first half. That was a 100-yard, 9-play drive that resulted in Lester Brown's touchdown, but outside of that, he was unable to move it against that Alouette defense. To the corner of your screen there, you might have seen number 11 throwing a block from behind. Lots of times, throws complete to Chris DeFrance, who was racked up immediately and dropped by Dave Dumars, number 14.
Dumars was all over him. As a matter of fact, I think he's going to be called for pass interference.
So it'll be a first down, Saskatchewan. The Riders picked up just 20 yards total offense in that second quarter.
I mentioned it at the halftime highlights, Dale. Well, it's here to call.
Defensive pass interference. Saskatchewan number 14. Excuse me, Montreal number 14.
I mentioned at halftime, Jerry DiTilio compiled 241 yards throwing the football against these Riders.
First and 10.
Barnes was only just a little over 100.
Riders are first and 10 at their own 18. Already Montreal added to their halftime lead of 12-8. They're up in front 19-8 on a touchdown by James Scott. The give to Lester Brown up the middle. Gets near the 20 for a gain of a couple. Jerry DiTilio, what an afternoon he's had for Montreal. His first starting assignment of the year.
Second and 8 from the 20-yard line.
Interesting, Dale. He came into this ball game only having thrown 39 passes all year long.
Lester Brown has carried the ball 5 times for 18 yards this afternoon, and that's all the rushing the Riders have done. Upnagle goes to Lester Brown, and he can't squeeze it. Third down, and the Riders will have to punt the ball away.
Willie Hampton, number 62, the linebacker on that side for Alouettes, is right with Brown. That wind is gusting again now here at Taylor Field. Kenny Clark will be having to hit that ball from inside his own 10-yard line, and Alouettes has excellent field position.
Johnson and Brazeley are the deep men standing. Brazeley's at the Saskatchewan 50, Johnson at his own 48. This is Brazeley from the 51. Gets to the 49 where he's stopped by Campbell Hackney, number 51. The first man could haul him down. 32-yard kick and a 3-yard return, and the Alouettes are in Saskatchewan territory to start this next drive. 11:14 to go in the third quarter.
Hackney's shoe come off there, number 51. No injury.
From the Roughrider 49.
Ladies haven't had a lot of cheer about since the first quarter of this ball game.
DiTilio sends Johnson wide to the left of the top of his straight, and James Scott is the wide receiver to the right. Out of your picture. Now he's going deep for Johnson, who's open. Touchdown Montreal, and they've exploded now. White Shoes Johnson has a 49-yard touchdown.
Steve Dennis on that side just slipped, and Johnson went by him, and another easy score for the Alouettes. They talked about putting together 2 of the quickest touchdowns you're going to see. Watch Dennis, number 25, slip and fall. I think Johnson had him beat anyway. Good throw by Jerry DiTilio once again, and the Alouettes are starting to pour it on.
First to James Scott, then to Billy White Shoes Johnson, and the Alouettes have opened up a big lead here in the third quarter. And again, Don Sweet to convert the touchdown. 26-8 is now the score for Montreal over Saskatchewan. And we'll return to Taylor Field in Regina in just a moment.
In the middle of the stands there, of course, is Nelson Scalbania. He and Peter Brown and Hi Eisenstadt from the West Coast own control of this football club, and I think they're a little happier.
I'm sure that
about what's happening.
He has only really seen a couple of Alouette games in person. He must be pretty happy the way high-priced players are going today. Kickoff by Sweet into the end zone to Tolbert. Emmanuel brings it out across the 25 to the 28-yard line, and let's go to Al McCann.
I've got Billy White Shoes Johnson, formerly Houston Oilers, now the Montreal Alouettes. Billy, you got to feel good. You guys are finally putting that offense together, eh?
Well, you know, it's 4 quarters to the game. We're going to have to continue playing ball like we're playing now, and hopefully we can continue this drive that we're beginning to put together. Jerry's throwing the ball awfully well. Very well, you know, and I think Saskatchewan's a little worried about Jerry because he will take a chance to scramble and he'll run the ball to put more pressure on the defense. Hopefully we're putting in a few razzle-dazzles to keep them honest, and by doing that we can run the stuff that we're accustomed to running.
Okay, buddy, good catch.
Thank you.
Hufnagel goes to Dwight Edwards, and he makes the catch out at the 38. Be very close to a first down for Saskatchewan. Tuklo and the newcomer Vince Skillings covering Edwards on the play, but giving him a fair amount of room. 26-8 is the score. Montreal over Saskatchewan. They led 12-8 at the half. They've added 2 big touchdowns here in this third quarter by Scott and Johnson.
And they trailed 8-0 after the first quarter of this ball game. But they scored 2 quick ones in just over 4 minutes to start this second half.
There was a first down catch by Edwards at the Saskatchewan 38. Hufnagel in the middle. Lester Brown has another Saskatchewan first down and more as it takes 3 Alouettes to haul them down, and they bring the crowd to life here at Taylor Field with a gain of 19.
I don't think anybody here at Taylor Field thinks Riders have quit. Good throw by Hufnagel again. Brown coming out of that backfield. Very important for the Riders if they're going to stay in this football game is to put one in the end zone right now. 9:30 remains in this third quarter.
Hufnagel for Edwards. He makes the catch. Another first down and more. Dwight Edwards. Touchdown, Saskatchewan.
Dale, I honestly thought he was out of bounds. 53 yards by Dwight Edwards, and the Riders are right back in it. We're going to have to see that one. We're going to have to see it from closer than that, because I thought he was out of bounds before we picked that play up. In any event, it was not called there. Let's see. No, he was not. Edwards did a great job of staying in bounds and kept his feet and scored from 53 yards out. What an explosive first 5.5 minutes of the second half of this football game.
So the rookie Paul Watson will try to convert that touchdown at 53 yards by Dwight Edwards, his 4th major score of the year at Convert. Now cuts the Montreal lead to 26-15 with 9:17 to go in the third quarter. Hufnagel's completed 3 of 4 for 83 yards and that big touchdown.
And what a great call by the officials, which were right on the play at the sideline, right in front of the Rider bench. Watch Dwight Edwards. Very close, but he was not out of bounds.
Joe Ferraghelli is pleased with that performance, and they're singing again at Taylor Field.
brought him back quick. 26-15 now.
Big defensive plays highlighted the first half, and now we've had 3 very big offensive plays in this third quarter already. 2 by Montreal and now 1 by Saskatchewan.
A CFL on CTV.
Record crowd of 28,526. And Dwight Edwards is the man right now with that scintillating 53-yard touchdown. And it's a great job just to stay in bounds. Paul Watson steps out. This is Dominic Victro. Paul Watson, the kicker, finally throws him out of bounds at the Montreal 52 for Vitro. 37-yard return off a 50-yard kick. Out of Wilfrid Laurier, 5'10", 180 pounds. First year with the Alouettes.
This doesn't even look like the same ball club. Ball clubs. They're going up and down the field. The first half, only 4 field goals to lead this football game. All of a sudden, we have 3 majors in 6 minutes.
Mark LaSalle is in there as a running back, and he takes the handoff from DeTilio for a gain of close to 55. Alvin Walker not in the lineup at the moment. Second down and 7, Montreal. DeTilio Under big pressure again, and they finally get there. The ball's loose. And the Alouettes get it back at their own 30. Very fortunate for Montreal to get that football back, a loss of 20 yards.
I'd say it's only appropriate maybe that Tommy Stoltz finally gets a sack on quarterback Jerry DiTilio. Watch him, he's number 54 coming in from the left. DiTilio had a field day avoiding Stoltz in the first half of this football game. It looked like DiTilio tried to throw that ball laterally forward, a very dangerous move, and as you say, Dale, Alouettes were very lucky that that was not a turnover. Third time now Saskatchewan has gotten to Jerry DiTilio.
As you said earlier, if it wasn't for DiTilio's scrambling ability, there'd be a lot more than 3 sacks against Montreal. Big rush on Buono, but he gets the kick away. Walters, who had a forearm injury in the first half, takes it. Still on his feet. And Willie Hampton got away from the block of Al Johns to force Walters out of bounds at his own 28. With the score, Montreal 26, Saskatchewan 15. We'll be back to Taylor Field in just a moment. Remaining exciting third quarter here at Taylor Field. Alouettes in front by 11 points. But the Riders got a big touchdown from Dwight Edwards the last time they had the ball. Now they have it again, 1st and 10 at their own 28 as you look at John Hufnagel, who has replaced Joe Barnes here in the second half. Hufnagel going for Walters. He's got it inside the Montreal 50.
Just look and listen to this crowd. Every play is a standing ovation.
34-yard gain for Joey Walters.
The biggest crowd in the history of Taylor Field for the second time in a row in 1981, and they loving it. Walters obviously fully recovered from that arm injury of the first half.
1st and 10 from the Alouettes 48. Hufnagel trying to get away from Keith Gary. He does. Still on his feet, goes out of bounds, forced out by Willie Hampton. But Hufnagel did a good job of picking up about 8 yards on the play. They mark it as 7-yard gain.
Believe me, John Hufnagel does not have the running ability of Jerry DiTilio, so that's a real plus when he can get around the outside and pick up a reasonable gain for you.
Not too many men that are going to run around Keith Gary, number 75. He is very quick for a big man.
Big he is, the rookie from Oklahoma, 6'3", 255 pounds. He's picked up his 4th sack of the year in this football game so far.
2nd down and 3. Drake Feger into the middle of that line. I think if he's short of the first down, Wally Buono with a hit on Feger.
It's going to be a little less than a yard short. An interesting situation now for Joe Faragelli as his ball club trails by 11 points. I would think that he'll gamble. First of all, they're going to call for a measurement. Al McCann down at field level. Al, you must be almost going deaf from that crowd noise.
Frank, it is without doubt the loudest we've had all season long. It's very difficult for me to hear your dulcet tones today, man.
Well, I don't know which ones those are.
3rd down, less than a yard to go for the Riders. The ball at the Montreal 38.5. 5:57 left to go in the 3rd quarter.
And here you can believe that John Hufnagel is making sure everybody in that huddle knows the snap count, and he's telling his offensive linemen, fire off that football. This is a must.
Hufnagel keeps, should have the 1st down. That's Eugene Beliveau, number 76, making the tackle, and Hufnagel pulling him back. But it all depends on where they'll spot it.
I don't think that's even close, Dale. I think he easily picked up the 1st down. 5:38 remains now in the 3rd quarter. The Riders trying to get back in this ball game. They were trailing 28-6 only a moment ago. 53-yard strike to Dwight Edwards from John Hufnagel after 2 big bombs from Jerry DiTilio early in this 3rd quarter. One to Billy Johnson, and of course to James Scott.
First down, Saskatchewan at the Montreal 37.
What an amazing job John Hofnagel has done the last 2 weeks in a relief role. He and Warren Moon of the Eskimos both passed for over 400 yards in the game last week.
Hofnagel back into the middle for Dwight Edwards, and the other shot him this time. They pulled that exchange, as they call it, with their wideouts to the one side. They lined up Edwards inside and moved to France outside. Hofnagel, that slight roll left, going back toward the middle. Little too far for Edwards.
To do that, of course, to get different personnel coverage on their receivers. John Hofnagel, obviously, there was going for a spot, which, really, Dale, he was so successful with last week against the Eskimos. 2nd and 10. They need to pick one up here to keep this drive alive.
Riders about first down, Montreal in this quarter, 6-3. Of course, the Alouettes have put 2 touchdowns up. The draw to Lester Brown, and it opens up. Brown has the first down at the Montreal 23. Steve Jelly, the safety, had to move up to make the stop. Gain of 14.
Brown a little bit upset with himself that he wasn't able to avoid the tackle of the veteran safety there. Steve Jelly, watch 27. 3rd year from SFU, and he does a good job on Brown. 3rd year with the Alouettes, I should say. First down now for Saskatchewan inside the 23.
Back to the air, Hofnagel goes into the end zone for Emmanuel Colbert. Too far. Looked like the defensive back over there, Charles Cornelius, may have had a chance at the interception, but Hofnagel made sure no chance at all, threw it too far for everybody. 4:22 to go in the 3rd quarter. And this game has really opened up into an offensive show here in this half. Second and 10 from the Alouette 23. Back Waggle out of there. Keith Gary with pressure. He releases to Lester Brown. Brown back into the middle where there's nothing but traffic, and Glenn Ware, number 64, stops him at about the 20, a gain of 3, maybe 4 yards. So we'll see Paul Watson come onto the field for a field goal attempt.
Big hit by Glenn Weir, number 64, who got back there with great pursuit. Weir takes him down. I think it's Glenn that's hurt on the play. Veteran, 10 years in the Canadian Football League. Weir did an excellent job working against Roger Aldag in the first half of this football game. He appears to be all right. You can see the hit once again as Brown was just going across field. Brown really nowhere to go and no chance to pick up that first down.
Glenn Ware back on his feet, heading to the bench, favoring that left leg.
I think Leonard's just walking off there for a minute because of old age. Great guy. One of the really enjoyable athletes in the Canadian Football League.
So Paul Watson's in there to try a field goal from 26 yards away. He's been good at 14 of 27 this year. Fraser doing the holding. The kick is up, and it is good. So the Roughriders have cut into the Alouette lead again. The score now, Montreal 26, Saskatchewan 18. We'll be back in just a moment.
Jammed the ankle up there. Anything serious?
No, I don't think so. Just a little sprain, Get it run a little bit, it'll come out.
This football club of yours is trying to come together, eh?
Well, it's about time we come together, do something, you know what I mean?
Good luck, man.
Thank you.
Glenn Ware, 3 minutes, 40 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter, and it's a 26-18 ball game for Montreal, and the Roughriders will kick off following Paul Watson's field goal.
That's exactly the comment that Weir made to me before the ball game, as I mentioned earlier. I said something about getting together. He said, hell, we thought we were going to get together 4 weeks ago.
Alvin Walker at the 25. Still on his feet. Walker's finally dropped at about the 43. Making the tackle, Kenny McEachran. Andre Jones is over there as well, number 28. 50-yard kickoff, return of 18.
Oh, there's a couple of tremendous collisions on this return. Whoa, Walker just ran right over Campbell Hackney, number 51. Moved the ball up to the 43-yard line. Just over 3 minutes remain now in this third quarter. It's been an exciting one.
Detilio's thrown 2 touchdown passes in this quarter. This time he goes to Johnson on the far side, an out pattern. He's forced out of bounds at the 52, a yard short of the first down. Bobby Hosea was over there along with Steve Dennis.
Good call, too. I like that, as Detilio, I'm sure, is aware that Dennis is concerned about Billy Johnson's speed after beating him so easily for that last Alouette touchdown. Throw it in front of him. He's going to give you a little room right now.
We've got more exciting action coming up tomorrow on CTV. More Canada Cup, 3 o'clock Eastern Time. Canada playing Sweden, 7 o'clock Eastern Time. CFL action, Edmonton against Hamilton from Ivor-Wynne Stadium.
Of course, Bill Stevenson, Pat Marsden, and Mike Wadsworth will be bringing you that. Could be a great one.
2nd down and 1, Alouettes from their own 52. 3:05 remaining in the third quarter. Detilio keeps first down Montreal at midfield. Jerry Detilio, without doubt, was amazing in that first half with his ability to get away from the rush, because the Roughriders had him dead to right so many times, and they managed to only sack him twice.
Looked like a matador. I was going to offer him an ear after that first 30 minutes.
First down at center field.
Tom Schultz had more chances than anybody else had him. Detilio kept getting away from him. Overstreet took the handoff, and the Roughriders, Mike Samples was there and stopped him cold for a loss of 3 or 4.
Bill, you saw that statistic, and that's one reason why the Alouettes have not won any more football games. They have turned the football over so much. The plus and minus category, they're really in tough shape. They've only had 4 interceptions themselves and given up 20. Big defensive play by Saskatchewan, and they came up with a lot of those in the first half of this football game on 2nd down. They need another one. It's 2nd and 13.
Right off the bat, the ball game, the Riders were tested. They stopped the Alouettes on 3rd and goal from the 1. Moments later, they intercepted in the end zone. 2nd down, 14. The pass to James Scott is complete. Billy McBride rides him out of bounds, but he should have enough for a first down at the Saskatchewan 44.5. This program is copyright and strictly for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction in whole or in part without the express written consent of the CTV television network is strictly prohibited.
Another great day for the leading receiver in the Eastern Division of the CFL, James Scott. Big touchdown beating the gentleman who just beat again, Billy McBride, earlier in this quarter.
Jerry Detilio throwing again. He's completed 6 in a row. This one's intercepted and dropped. The ball is still loose, and the Riders have it. They rule it an interception to McBride, a fumble recovered by Saskatchewan. Carl Grinnell, number 52, came up with the loose football.
They go to the well one too many times. Billy McBride makes an excellent interception here. Scott finally strips him of the football. Riders retain possession, take over possession.
Jerry Detilio, who just had that pass intercepted, has thrown for 412 yards this afternoon. But now Saskatchewan has the ball back with less than a minute to go in the third quarter. 1st and 10 from their own 33. 26-18 the score. Montreal leading. Sprint draw to Lester Brown. He has a gain of close to 3. Junior Ayu moved over quick to put the stop on Brown in 77. 10-year veteran along with Glenn Weir, who's been around for 10 years. Doug Scott in his 2nd year with the Alouettes, and Keith Gary, of course, the rookie. On the front 4 for Montreal. Ken Singleton again. The big offensive left tackle for the Alouettes at 6'6", 270. Out of Grambling, spent 8 years in the NFL. Second down, 7. Hucknagel throwing for Walters. He makes the catch. Oh, they really stepped out of bounds.
What a fabulous catch by Joey Walters. He did not get control before he was out of bounds. Now you saw his left foot come down, out of bounds. Too bad. What a great effort by the leading receiver in the West and in the country. I don't know.
Oh, that's pretty close. I thought his right foot was planted when he made
it. May have been. Very close call. Riders will have to kick it away. This should be the last play of the third quarter.
And Clark to do the punting. Rush by you up the middle. The ball goes to Paisley at his own 41. He just slips forward to about the 44-yard line, where the Alouettes will take over 1st and 10 following the 33-yard punt and a return of 3. At the end of the third quarter, the score is Montreal 26. Jana, the Alouettes with the football, leading 26 to 18, just getting the fourth quarter underway. Montreal at their own 45, 1st and 10. The reverse. Double reverse. James Scott wants to throw to Jerry DiTilio. Incomplete. Lyle Wozniacki almost knocked it down.
I love it. Not a great throw, though.
James Scott
over straight.
watched the hit.
Shoes. Now Scott, kind of an end-over-ender, came to DiTilio on one hop. Statistically, the Alouettes continue to dominate. 416 yards, almost all of it in the air. The year of the pass continues.
2nd and 10 for the Alouettes. Big rush on DiTilio. This time he is sacked by Wozniacki, and watch the Woz-Tusi. Here we go. Watch. I didn't see it. Wozniacki with the Woz-Tusi. 13-yard loss.
Well, they put tremendous pressure on DiTilio all afternoon, and it seems only when there's at least 3 or 4 of them in there can they get to him. But that is now the 4th sack on DiTilio. Only the number of the quarterback is wrong there. 14 minutes now remaining in this ball game, and for one of the few times in this contest, Saskatchewan is going to get excellent field position.
Ronald punting into that breeze. Wind holds it up for Joey Walters at the 40. Walters out to the 50 as he tried to hurdle a couple of blockers, but they got a hold of him. That was LaSalle and Racky to bring him down. 38-yard kick and a return of 10.
I'll tell you what, this shows his complete disregard for your body.
That's right, Frank. And you know, you were mentioning, Dale, that they were kicking into the wind. I'll tell you, this is going to be a whale of a finish to this game, I think, because Saskatchewan have the advantage of the wind. And believe me, it's still a very, very major factor in this football game.
We can tell from your haircut, Al.
Riders trailing by a touchdown with a 2-point convert. It would tie it. 26-18 is the score. Hucknagel going for Dwight Edwards. He stopped immediately by Vince Skillings after a gain of 9 to the Montreal 51.
Now this is really no care at all for your physical well-being.
Especially for a guy who had an injury in the first half.
Oh. Well, that's the way he plays football, and that's why he's the leading receiver in the Canadian Football League. Joey Walters. John Hucknagel with a little bit of a luxury now of 2nd and 1.5.
Walters and DeFrance come out. Riders go with extra blocking on the short yardage play. Seeger and Brown line up in the I. The give is to Brown. he's got a lot of room. Oh, he slipped. He had Emmanuel Culver downfield throwing a block on Charles Cornelius, but Brown slipped at the 39.
Brown really upset with him for the second time in this ball game. Steve Jelly put a great open field tackle on him, but this time it's Brown slipping on. Just a great job of blocking by that offensive line, including Brian Hildebrand, number 61, that right offensive tackle. Lester Brown on the last two carries now, that draw moments ago in Atwood, starting to get a respectable total.
12-yard gain that time, 1st and 10 from the Montreal 39. Huffnagel goes to Chris Grant. The big guy has another first down for Saskatchewan at the Montreal 25. Bill Banks and Carl Braisley stop him. He picks up 14.
I'll say one thing, France was not looking to go out of bounds. He was trying to get that extra yardage. 11:40 remains now as Joe Scannella is on the phone up to the press box. What's happening defensively out there to him?
That's Jim Eddy, the defensive backfield coach, who at one time was the head coach here in Saskatchewan. 11 and a half minutes trailing by 8 points. The 1st and 10 at the Montreal 25. Huffnagel throwing. Walters does not squeeze it. He was still making his cut when the ball got there. Braisley guarding him very closely.
Well, John delivering the ball on the pound quickly enough. Kind of slips as he does turn to the outside, or I think he might have made that catch.
A little off balance. 2nd down and 10 from the 25. John Huffnagel, what a job he's done again in coming in relief. Huffnagel going deep for Walters in the end zone, out of bounds. Didn't squeeze it anyway. So again, we'll see Paul Watson.
Almost his second major of this ball game for Huffnagel. The ball delivered just about a yard too far. Part of that, Huffnagel was 7 for 12, 144 yards and 1 touchdown. So he almost made it 2. This will put the Riders, of course, into position of being 1 converted touchdown from the lead now. The Alouettes came out, put 14 quick points on the board in this 3rd quarter. They really have slowed down offensively to almost nothing since that time.
So Paul Watson will try a 32-yard field goal with Stu Fraser holding. He does have the wind at his back. Drills this one right through the end zone. And now it's a 28-20 or 26-21 ball game with Montreal leading 10 and a half minutes to go. And we'll return to Taylor Field in Regina in just a moment. They're here in record numbers at Taylor Field, and they enjoying themselves this afternoon.
Hometown club trails by only 5 now.
Alouettes 1st and 10 from their own 35. They lead 26-21. 10:20 left to go. The pass to Chuck McMahon, number 33, and he has his first catch of the afternoon. Stopped at the 41 for a gain of 6. Chuck McMahon, number 33, had 10 catches coming into the ball game.
He liked Vince Goldsmith, number 78, to come on a blitz, but that time they laid him back. And beat him to the outside. Gain about 6. 9:56 now remain. We should have a great finish for you.
Second down, 4 yards to go at Montreal. Fake to Overstreet. DeTilio throwing for Scott. And he got the pass from DeTilio, and he's stopped by Billy McBride, but not before he picks up a first down.
Once again, McBride a little concerned after Scott beat him for a touchdown early in the 3rd quarter. Laid off just enough, so Scott was able to take that football in and move it up to the 53. Willie Hampton, the linebacker of the Alouettes, getting a little returns on the bench.
Scott has picked up 128 yards in receptions today. Johnson with 141.
Scott clearly over 800 yards for the year.
One fake by DeTilio going deep for Scott. He put it out of bounds. Billy McBride did not go for the fake. He was with them all the way.
I think he might have a little bit of a tough time beating McBride deep for the rest of this ball game.
Second and
He's really laying off of Scott.
Montreal 53.
If you joined us late, we have not seen Vince Ferragamo at all today. Jerry DeTilio started and is still in there. And look at those impressive stats this afternoon. 8 minutes, 55 seconds to go. We're in the fourth quarter, 26-21, Montreal leading.
Obvious passing situation. Be interesting to see what the Riders do as far as how many people they bring.
They have 9 men up close to the line of scrimmage. Big rush. The pass for Billy Johnson is over his head. Third down, and the Alouettes will have to punt.
Boy, they just brought everybody on the play. You'll see Vince Goldsmith on the outside if we start that up. Stop it there. You'll also see Frank Robinson. The only linebacker hanging back was Carl Cornell, number 52. Robinson's coming, Goldsmith's coming, Ed Schultz is coming. They're trying to put pressure on DeTilio.
One of the few passes today DeTilio hasn't completed, but he's hit on 79%. We'll watch Wally Buono punt. Oh, driving kick held up in the wind a bit. Stu Fraser has it. And nowhere to go. Bill Banks, number 50, first man there to make the hit on him, and he stopped at his own 29.
Actually, the way that Buono has been hitting those punts is not that big a disadvantage with Ken Clark kicking against Buono. Buono normally would be out-kicked by Clark by quite a bit, but he's able to kick the ball fairly low. He only hit that one about 29 or 30 yards, but nobody's going to kick it that much further. That wind is gusting up again here at Taylor Field. It favors the Saskatchewan Roughriders right now for the next 8 minutes and 12 seconds.
Walters and Tolbert wide to the left side. Edwards split off to the right. Lester Brown in the ace backfield. Quickly into the middle to Greg Seeger. Seeger has a gain of 15 yards and a first down out to the 45.
And I told you earlier, Dale, they're going to be looking at that play again. You just cannot cover that play with your middle linebacker. You have to hold that receiver up. That's Banks, number 50, and that's his man. He just couldn't keep up with him or catch up with him, and there's no way he can make that coverage.
The Alouettes went with 6 DBs in that particular formation, and it hurt them. Buono is now back in, and Kuklo goes out. Chris France has a first down, still on his feet. Finally stopped over the far side in Montreal territory with the first down. The score is 26-21. Montreal will be back in just a moment. Go in the fourth quarter. Riders first and 10 at the Montreal 52. Alouettes leading by 5. Emmanuel Tolbert is the only receiver that hasn't caught a pass for the Riders today. And I say only of their regular receivers. Walters has caught 3. Edwards has caught 4. Brown has caught 4, and so has Speaker. Huffnagel wants to go deep to Joey Walters. He's got it at the 10-yard line. Joey Walters, the leading receiver in the CFL, picks up 42 yards.
Freddie Fleming has an absolutely super picture for you here as you see this zone dropping back of the Montreal Alouettes. Look at everybody backpedaling. That's a 3-deep zone. Joey Walters is just trying to hit the seam between the 2 deep backs. And you see the perfect throw by Huffnagel. That was Cornelius and Carl Brazeley, and Huffnagel to Walters hits the seam. A perfect example of zone defense and a perfect offensive play.
And this Taylor Field crowd going wild. Huffnagel into the end zone to France. Touchdown!
Unbelievable comeback by the Riders. Dave Demers was the defensive back beat by DeFrance, and DeFrance simply took the football away from him.
81-yard drive for the touchdown, 28-26. Saskatchewan leads Montreal.
Let's see it again. DeFrance, the rookie, just took the football away from Dave Demers. Rider pride. And the hometown folks are ahead 28-26. What a comeback after it looked like the Montreal Alouettes were going to run the Riders right out of the ballpark. They came out and in 4 minutes and 3 seconds scored 14 points early in the third quarter and led the Riders 26-8.
Another shot at Nelson Scaldania, who was smiling a little while ago in the third quarter, but his club was leading 26-8.
The smile doesn't look nearly as sincere at this point.
No.
Row 16 and seat number 12.
What a second half this has been. Riders back in front, leading by 2, and Paul Watson picks off. And he puts this one into the end zone, right past Walker. No chance at all to play it. A good example of what kind of leg this youngster has. Number 38, Paul Watson, just kicked that one 90 yards.
Well, the ball landed about 85 yards before he kicked it. Unreal.
You know, it's quite a story down here at field level. The tumult of sound and all the cheering people. It's hard to imagine this same Saskatchewan Roughrider Football Club have been down and out for a few years, but man, what a comeback they've made. Record crowds every time out, and you got to give a lot of credit to that very likable man, Joe Caragilli.
I'd like to echo that. Boy, what a close relationship he has with this football club. And I said before the game that I think that this team is playing as close to their ability as any team in the Canadian Football League. He's getting the maximum out of it.
First and 10 Als from their 25. Back to James Scott. Carl Grinnell has him at the 30-yard line, a gain of 5.
Grinnell does a great job of pursuit coming from that middle linebacking spot. McBride kind of stalls Scott up just a bit. You see Peter Della Riva out there trying to provide the block. The gain is 6 yards. Don't forget, these Alouettes can hit from anywhere on the field as well. We're inside of 6 minutes now.
It was 12-8 Montreal at the half, and then they went ahead 26-8 in the third quarter, but it now 28-26 for Saskatchewan. Pass for Peter Della Riva is incomplete. Andre Jones covering the big tight end, and the Alouettes will have to kick it away.
Well, these folks are going to cheer a foul ball for the rest of the afternoon. Good play by Jones. I don't think Della Riva had much of a chance to catch the football anyway.
Tilio and James Scott discussing things with 5.5 minutes to go in the ball game. And they have to give up the football. Guano punches this to John McCorkindale, the short receiver, number 32, and the Riders have it at their own 53-yard line. That punt, 30 yards, a return of 4. You see the offensive center for the Alouettes, Grant Keeble, favoring that right arm as he heads to the bench.
You know, we thought we had an exciting game last week in Edmonton. This one even tops it, I think, guys.
Well, it'd be hard to pick between those two, Dale and Al. It's just been really exciting football.
We've had a lot of them this year. First down Riders from their own 53. Huffnagel gives to Lester Brown. He's got a gain of about 3 yards. Keith Gary, the big defensive end, stopping Lester Brown.
This is where the Riders would really like to be able to run the football, but they haven't been able to establish much. Only a couple of plays by Lester Brown. Other than that, the Alouette defense has kept them pretty well intact. That man has thrown against them pretty successfully since he's come in.
John Huffnagel in the groove again this afternoon. Coming in to replace Joe Barnes. Second down, 8 yards to go. Goes to Christopher France, a little too far this time. So now the Roughriders will have to punt. 4 minutes, 12 seconds to go in the football game.
Carl Brazley had excellent defense on Dufresne. Step for step with him. That wind remains a factor, particularly in the punting of this football game, and it, of course, favors the Riders. Ken Clark drops back. He'll hit the ball from about his own 45.
Johnson and Brazley are the deep men. Again, IU has big pressure up the middle, but it didn't get to it. Johnson has it inside the 10, gets out to about the 14. Clarkendale and Foley downfield very quickly to hold that return to 5 yards on a 46-yard punt. So the Alouettes have to start deep in their own end at the 14 with 3:46 to go. And now we see Vince Ferragamo coming into the ball game. The first time today we've seen him. No, maybe he's not coming in. Oh, he's making sure that he checks with the official to make sure that they make note of the change in the designated import. Ferragamo, if he comes in, an import must leave the ball game.
We'll have to find it out for you, just who they sat down.
I think it's Skip Walker. The number 32 is going back to the bench right now.
In all likelihood. Well, Vince Ferragamo is going to know exactly what it felt like to Jerry DiTilio in the first half of the season, coming in with just 3 minutes and 46 seconds left and putting the burden of the comeback on Ferragamo's shoulders. Jerry has thrown for over 400 yards in this football game, many, many times under severe pressure.
There's a slight delay here as both teams are made aware of the fact that the designated import change has been made. Vince Ferragamo. But James Scott doesn't hold on to it at the 30-yard line.
Well, you can't blame Vince for that one, right in his hand. I'm sure he's a little bit upset. Scott hadn't dropped the football all day. A perfect delivery. You can't throw it any better than that.
Sure can. Classic drop-back style quarterback. Vince Ferragamo, he's big, he's strong, and he can throw the ball as good as anybody. And has a tremendously quick release under pressure. The only thing he doesn't do is scramble the way DiTilio did. Second down and 10 Alouettes. They need a first down here. 3 minutes left to go. Big rush. Just as he let the football go, he was hit.
It looked like Samples had hit him. As a matter of fact, I think he hit him just while he was releasing the football. The Saskatchewan Roughriders 28, Montreal 26. We'll be back with the last 3 minutes and 5 seconds.
This forced Montreal to kick the ball away again. But even if DiTilio had been in there, Frank, I don't think he would have been able to get away from that rush.
No, I don't think you can say anything derogatory about Ferragamo. He threw the football absolutely perfect to Scott on first down, and he dropped it. Then the big rush, he had no chance of releasing the football any quicker.
They are on top of him really before he had a chance to set up. The punt by Buono with 3 minutes left to go goes to Joey Walters.
Not a bad kick.
Walters turns it upfield with some room to go. Joey Walters is inside the Montreal 30.
And there are no flags down.
How about that?
But that man contributed today after it looked like he might be lost for quite some time. And it's showtime here at Philadelphia. They have got some Rider pride.
39-yard punt. Walters returns at 25.
I'd call that pretty Rider pride. It is not Al McCann in a Rider jersey.
Hopnagle will go looking for some more with 2:49 to go. First down at the Montreal 29. Greg Feger. That's close to the 25. Junior IU making the tackle on Feger. Second down, about 6-7 yards to go.
Well, this may not be correct as a purist, but I'd like to see him put the ball in the air right now.
He's been throwing it pretty well.
It's a bit of a gamble, but even if he's intercepted, the Alouettes still got to go 100 yards to beat him.
2.5 minutes to go, clock running. Second down, 7 yards to go. Fever goes in motion, the pitch to Lester Brown. He's got some good blocking in front. Brown has a first down. Willie Hampton finally stopped him.
Just an excellent block by Roger Aldag. Started up right here. Stop it there. You'll see Aldag, number 44, leading the play around the left side. And he kicks out the corner, allowing Brown to turn up the inside. Good job in this second half by that offensive line of the Riders. Now's the important time for them. First down at the 18.
Hufnagel keeps it on the ground. To Brown again to about the 15, a gain of 3. 2:02 left to go in the fourth quarter. 28-26 the score. Saskatchewan leading. Pair of Alouettes who had the big plays in the third quarter. James Scott and White Shoes Johnson. And those two plays gave the Alouettes a 26-8 lead in that third quarter, but Saskatchewan has battled back to regain the lead. Second down, 7 from the Alouette 15. Hufnagel going for Feger. He's got it. Touchdown! Beautiful call by John Hufnagel to Greg Feger. 15-yard touchdown.
Well, you know what he did, Bill? He got a back coming out of the backfield on a linebacker, Willie Hampton, number 62. You're looking at him right there. And Feger does not have great speed, but he had enough to beat the linebacker to the outside. Watch Feger come out now from that slot back position. Open by a couple of yards, just using his better speed to advantage, and it's a major score for Saskatchewan. A perfect throw by John Hufnagel.
And he is really the toast of Saskatchewan right now. He has thrown 3 touchdown passes today. As you see Paul Watson convert this one to make it a 35-26 ball game. He threw 4 last weekend, 7 TDs in the last 2 games for John Hufnagel passing.
Bill, I didn't pick up how many yards he's picked up here this afternoon. I don't know if you just said that, but it was over 400 last week against the Edmonton Eskimos, 240 today, so he's close to 700 yards in just about 7 quarters of football. And you'll watch Feger coming out from that slot back position, just a little bit of motion, very close up to the line of scrimmage, disguising his motion. He comes out, Willie Hampton, the linebacker on the left side of the Alouette defense, number 62, trying to provide the defense, just cannot do so, and the Riders move into a 9-point lead with just 1:40 remaining.
Look at this crowd going wild again. Paul Watson to kick off as you look at John Hufnagel getting a bit of a breather on the bench. He threw for 121 yards in the third quarter and has come back with another 119 here in the fourth quarter, giving the Roughriders a 9-point lead. Wind blows that football off the kicking tee, and now Marshall Hamilton will have to tee it up for Paul Watson with 1:40 to go.
Watson will kick this one out of the ballpark.
Hufnagel 63% passing in this ball game. 5 yards deep, Dominic Vitro. And he ran right into Frank Robinson, number 37, who got there. There's a flag down. Haven't seen one for quite a while in this ball game. 70-yard kickoff, return of 25.
Well, the wind here at Taylor Field has gusted from time to time, and it is gusting against the Alouettes right now as they have only 1 minute and 34 seconds.
A few of
holding Montreal number 75 on the run back.
That's Keith Gary cut for holding. A few of the 28,526 the record cut starting to head but home, but most of them are staying right where they are. You can bet that the end of this ball game, if you look at Joe Faragelli.
What a job he's done, Dale. I know we mentioned it 2 or 3 times, but this is a football team that in 1980 won 2 football games. In 1979 won 2 football games. in all likelihood, they're going to lock up their 5th victory of the year in 1981. After 9 starts, they'll tie the Winnipeg Blue Bombers for 3rd place in the Western Division.
Well, that'll be a big one next Saturday night in Winnipeg, won't it?
And we'll be there.
Ferragamo throwing on first down, intercepted by Andre Jones. James
18th interception against Vince Ferragamo in 1981, and that's in just 9 football games. Well, that's all she wrote.
For Andre Jones, that's his first interception of the year, and this is only his 4th ball game.
Not a lot of pressure on Ferragamo that time. The ball was just underthrown. Attempting to hit Scott once again.
22 interceptions against the Alouettes this year, 18 of them against Ferragamo. Riders 1st and 10 at the Alouette 27. A minute 25 to go. The crowd once more. Beeger dances his way through the middle of that line for a gain of about 11 yards.
Wow, this is the spirit of Montreal Alouette Football Club, and you have to feel a little bit sorry for them, really. They played an excellent football game most of the way. It looked like by the time they played 5 minutes of this second half, they were going to absolutely demolish the Riders. They went ahead 26-8, and you can see how disconsolate they are on that Alouette bench.
That shot tells it all about the Alouettes. The record will be 1-8 after today.
An amazing comeback by Saskatchewan Roughriders, led by not that man, Joe Barnes, but John Huffnagel, who replaced Barnes in the 2nd quarter.
And the great thing about this combination is that Barnes is Huffnagel's biggest cheerleaders when John goes into the ball game. 1st and 10 again. Lester Brown runs into some traffic. Now he's going to try to sweep around the left. Cuts it back. And he turned that into a 5-yard gain when it didn't look like he'd got much more than 1.
Dale, appropriate to what you said, your comment about the 2 quarterbacks, as we watched Brown's great effort on this play, is that the last time that these 2 clubs met, it was Joe Barnes that did the damage to the Alouettes, not John Huffnagel. This time, Barnes had to be replaced, but I'm sure he's very happy with the total result.
Riders about first down. The Alouettes 16-6 in the second half. 42 seconds remaining in the ball game. Second down. Beeger into the middle again. This time they stop us about 2 yards short of the first. Del Banks, number 50, the middle linebacker, playing only in his second game with the Alouettes. Mind you, he's seen other CFL action with Hamilton and Ottawa. And the Riders will go for it on 3rd down and 2.
There's no way that Joe Ferragamo is going to try to, the kind of guy is, to pile up points on anybody. And, of course, they have a 9-point lead with only 35 seconds remaining. They need just over 2 yards to pick up a first down.
34 seconds left to go in the football game. And the crowd, a lot of it has left their seats, but they're standing in the aisleways and the exits right now. Nobody wants to go home.
They want to see if the Riders are going to add more points.
3rd down and 2. Greg Beeger was leading the blocking. Lester Brown got the handoff, and he did not make the first down, I don't think. Del Banks made a hit on him and stopped him cold.
Well, the Alouettes will take over the football, but the game is over. There's only 15 seconds remaining. It'll be very interesting to see who Freddie Fleming picks for our offensive and defensive stars of the game.
That's only the 3rd time this year the Roughriders have turned the ball over on downs. 35-26, Saskatchewan leading, 15 seconds to go, and the Alouettes with the football. Tremendous second half display, especially early in the 3rd quarter. Montreal with those big plays to Scott and Johnson. And then the Roughriders came right back with Huffnagel leading the way with some big plays of their own. That 53-yarder to Dwight Edwards for the touchdown really got them going.
Unquestionably.
Alouettes at their own 8-yard line. They took too long. 20-second clock had run out, and Vince Ferragamo, just what can you do?
Well, don't forget tomorrow across the CTV network, the Hamilton Ticats host the Edmonton Eskimos in Hamilton. That should be a great one.
Second down now. Oh, the pass goes to Billy Johnson out at the 20-yard line, and he has enough for a first down with 11 seconds to go. It almost looked at first that Ferragamo hadn't got enough on that ball.
Well, he certainly threw it before Johnson made his cut. The ball was right there when Johnson turned around.
First and 10 out at the 20-yard line with 11 seconds left. Big rush from Schultz. Screens it to David Overstreet. Overstreet out across the 30 to about the 33, and another first down, and 2 seconds remain on the clock. That gain of 13 yards for Overstreet. His first catch of the afternoon. He hasn't had a lot of room to run the ball either. He's carried 11 times for 17 yards.
Isn't that great defense?
Sure is.
Very happy Joe Ferragamo, or Ferragooch, as we fondly call him.
Last play of the football game. Ferragamo throws for De La Riva. It's intercepted by Tom Schultz on the last play of the ball game. Interception number 19 against Vince Ferragamo. Not that it makes any difference for this contest. It's all over. And what a performance by Saskatchewan in the last 20-25 minutes of this ball game. So with the final score, Saskatchewan 35 and Montreal 26. The CFL on CTV will return with winning coach Joe Ferragamo and our starting
coach Joe Ferragamo. Joe, congratulations.
Thanks, Al.
Your guys did a heck of a job. You guys are becoming the comeback kids. You just bring Huffnagel out of the bullpen like in a ball game, and he pitches a shutout.
There's only one trouble with comebacks: the cardiac.
Oh, you got to be really proud of your guys because you got way down in the game, 26 to something.
Well, you know, I said that from the first day I got here. They have a lot of character. They're tough. They've been down so many times it don't bother them, and they just have to believe that they can come back with the receivers and the quarterbacks that we have and the type of enthusiasm that they show out there. We're in every ball game.
I'll tell you, Coach, this tremendous crowd, I've never heard a noisier crowd. They've got to inspire them, too.
They're beautiful. If you want to win for anybody, these are the fans you want to win for. They've been with these guys when they were down. When we were down, they were with us, and now they're getting a little treat, and I'm really happy for them.
You know, the way you're bouncing those two quarterbacks around, it's working out really nicely for you.
Well, luck. There's no genius or anything, just pure luck.
Like Barnes burned these guys the last time.
Right,
today
right.
Huffnagel
Then John come in. I'm comfortable with either quarterback, and I don't want to lose either one, so I have to keep them both happy, let them both play.
I thought for a minute you might have lost Walters, but he came back and played great.
Joey's a tough kid. You know, last week before the game, he ran into one of the linemen and split his mouth and had a hell of a day. I was going to punch him today, but he bounced back.
Did it throw your thinking when they started Detilio?
No, we had anticipated that all day, all week long, and we were ready. He's a scrambler, you know, and he gives you fits, but we hung in there.
Coach, next Saturday you play Winnipeg. I'm glad we're going to be there to televise it. It should be a natural. You're tied to those guys.
Yeah.
It should be a great game.
Yeah, well, we'll be ready.
Joe, congratulations again, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks a lot, Al.
Joe Ferragamo, Saskatchewan Roughrider coach, and the CFL on CTV returns in a moment.
Carling O'Keefe Sports presents the offensive and defensive Game Stars.
From the Saskatchewan Roughriders, playing only the second half of the football game, John Huffnagel completed 12 of 19 for 240 yards and 3 touchdowns. And former Montreal Alouette Carl Cornell anchored a front seven that did a tremendous job all afternoon. That's your Carling O'Keefe Sports Game Stars. Here's Al.
Well, that's the second time in a week that we've had John Huffnagel as our offensive star. Isolation director Fred Fleming is here. Fred, what turned it around for Saskatchewan today?
I really think that the institution of figure, more importantly in that offense, when they seemed to line him on the outside, and Frank had mentioned during the broadcast that they'd line him on the outside. It was a problem for that defense of the Alouettes, and it really showed in the second half, especially the latter part. I thought that the young man played very well. But, you know, Al, that's something that a team will do when they're in preparation of playing a game, if they can put a different wrinkle in.
Okay, Fred, thanks for dropping by. Good job as usual. What a game it was. 35-26. Saskatchewan win it in comeback fashion. We're looking forward to a...
CTV Sports presents Canadian Football. Brought to you in part by Canadian Pacific. Owned by Canadians, working for Canadians. By Brute, the classic in men's fragrances. By Panasonic, just slightly ahead of our time. And by Carling O'Keefe, brewers of OV, and the Carlsberg family.